Welcome to the Vocabulary and Subculture. Today, we are stepping into a subculture ruled by back-to-back calendar invites, color-coded tracking sheets, and the never-ending search for operational harmony. Today, we are decoding the language of middle managers. So, let's get your English brains to work.
Wow.
If you've ever been on a corporate call and heard someone ask to put a pin in it or synergize touch points right before the weekend, you've crossed paths with middle managers. Historically, this role was just about basic oversight in factory spaces, but it has evolved into a highly complex, distinct professional tribe. Today, middle managers exist as the gear between high-level executive concepts and the actual grind of daily execution. Because they are caught in a permanent squeeze between the top and the bottom, this group operates under constant schedule conflicts, shifting goalposts, and severe operational stress. You are juggling shrinking project budgets, protecting your team's sanity, and sitting through 6 hours of daily status meetings just to keep the wheels turning. It is a very specific, high-pressure way of living, and any office worker has without a doubt dealt with these middle managers. Personally, I know what it's like to get an entire afternoon consumed by a bunch of status meetings, and let me tell you, it hurts your heart. When you hang out in this ecosystem long enough, you learn a lot. You learn about things like scope creep. That's when the boundaries of a project gradually stretch out until the original timeline and budget are completely ruined. It's a great phrase to steal and use in your daily life. Like, for example, when a simple home renovation project slowly turns into a complete expensive house rebuild. That's scope creep. Now, to survive that, experienced managers focus on quick wins, or also often referred to as low-hanging fruit, which just means knocking these tasks out is the easiest, the most accessible, and the first to build some good momentum to knock out the bigger tasks. In your own routine, finding those low-hanging fruit amongst your daily tasks is a solid way to start a productive day without burning your mental energy right at the beginning. This pressure cooker environment is exactly what makes the vocabulary of middle managers so useful. To keep projects alive while translating corporate goals into clear tasks, managers rely on distinct terminology to negotiate resources and set priorities instantly. Without insight into this unique dialect, office meetings might sound like bizarre salad of sports jargon and empty buzzwords. But once you actually understand how the words function, you gain a sharp set of terms to describe your own capacity limits, workflow speed bumps, and personal organization. Today, we are unlocking 4 high-utility middle manager terms that will immediately level up your English outside of the office. Get your notebook ready because we're about to get right into it. Our first term is bandwidth. In the corporate world, bandwidth refers to the person's mental capacity, their time, or their energy that is available for them to take on new tasks. It's the metric managers use to make sure their team doesn't hit a wall. A manager is constantly calculating how much bandwidth is left on the table. When I used to work in a corporate environment, I would always run out of mental bandwidth after lunch, right when my food started getting digested. I would just get extremely sleepy. In everyday English, bandwidth is a versatile noun to describe your personal availability or mental juice for life's demands. Here are 2 natural everyday examples. I'd love to help you paint the kitchen this weekend, but honestly, I don't have the bandwidth for it. I'm overbooked. By the time I finish my commute and cook my dinner, I have 0 mental bandwidth left to study Japanese. I just want to fully zone out and watch Netflix all night. By treating your energy like a computer's processing power, using bandwidth shifts the conversation away from personal rejection. In the first example we just covered, telling a friend that you lack the bandwidth frames the issue as a simple calculation of time and energy, making the boundary completely polite and objective rather than dismissive. In the second example we covered, it perfectly describes the specific state of being too mentally drained to do your studies, which is a great step up from simply saying, "I'm tired." Let's see how the word sounds when two coworkers are asking about each other's bandwidth in the first comic dialogue. Here we go. Hey Sarah, how's your bandwidth this afternoon? I have a favor to ask.
Sorry Bob, I have absolutely zero bandwidth. I have like 20 things I need to get done, and that's only before lunch.
So you're saying your afternoon has a bit of bandwidth?
Geez, Bob, why are you being so pushy? What exactly is it that you want from me?
Well, the reason I asked if you had any bandwidth to spare was because I wanted you to pick up my dry cleaning.
Bob, you just exhausted the last of my patient's bandwidth. If I were you, I would start running.
Fight!
How's your mental bandwidth going today? Do you have a lot on your plate? I hope you're having a nice day. Let's move on to the second word. Our next word is bottleneck. In management circles, a bottleneck is the specific point in a workflow where progress halts because one person, one step, or a certain department cannot process their part of the work at the same speed as others. If you've ever sat around for a whole week waiting for a single executive to sign off a basic email draft, you've likely dealt with a bottleneck. It's a massive momentum killer. I once waited 3 days for a manager to reply to my email with a single one-word answer. Outside of the office, you can use bottleneck to describe any block in a system, a traffic delay, or a situation where everything gets stuck behind one obstacle. Check it out in these two standard examples. The ticket lane at the train station had a massive bottleneck this morning during rush hour because one guy forgot to put on his glasses. A fire caused a shipping bottleneck at the port, which delayed our overseas deliveries by 2 weeks. In the first example, bottleneck is used to describe how a tiny individual issue like someone forgetting their glasses can instantly stall a massive public flow. In the second example, it frames a major disaster like a port fire as a systematic delay rather than just bad luck. Using this word allows you to pinpoint the exact source of any disruption, making it a great tool to explain delays logically and objectively without sounding like you are just complaining. Let's see how the word bottleneck plays out in the next comic strip. Why hasn't the launch campaign gone live yet? The design assets were completed a week ago. We hit a severe bottleneck in the legal department. They're still reviewing the color choices. The colors? It's literally gray and white. How is that a bottleneck? Well, the legal director is on a cruise and he's the only person who can approve the color palette. So, a global product launch is completely stuck because one guy is in the middle of the ocean? Yup. That is our current operational bottleneck. On the bright side, it looks like he is having a great time on that cruise. Good for Bob. Bottleneck is a great word because it shifts the focus from blaming people to looking at the actual system. Now, if you want to study the sentence patterns and conversational structures more deeply, you don't have to worry about pausing the video to write everything down. I've compiled the complete lesson transcript, comic dialogue scripts, and expanded subculture vocabulary notes into a clean, text-only PDF companion study guide. Just copy the free Google Docs link in the description and grab your copy today to study at your own pace. And while you're down there, please hit that like and subscribe button to help the channel grow. Thank you. Let's keep going with the third word. The third middle manager term is circle back. In the manager subculture, to circle back means to temporarily pause a discussion and return to it later, usually after you've gathered some more data or sorted out a different priority first. It's essentially the professional translation of, we are wasting time on this, let's talk about it later when we actually know what we're doing. Outside of meetings, circle back is a really nice, polite phrase to put a conversation on hold, postpone a decision, or set up a natural follow-up. Take a look at these two standard examples. I need to review my calendar before I can say yes. So is it okay if we circle back on this later tonight? I'll call you directly. We don't have the actual pricing details yet, so let's circle back to the budget once the numbers are finalized. As you can see in the first example, circle back keeps the conversation open-ended without forcing you into an immediate commitment. It gives you a graceful way to buy some time. In the second example we looked at, it is used in a professional context to keep a meeting productive by shelving an unanswerable question until the necessary data arrives. It is a highly strategic phrase because it sounds organized and proactive rather than like you are just simply dodging the topic. Let's see how it plays out in a workplace casual scenario. Hey Joe, can I ask you about this item on the expense report? Hey Bob, can we circle back to that later? I'm about to go to lunch. Okay, that's fine. Let's circle back to it in a bit. Enjoy your break. Bob, I just finished my lunch. What did you want to ask me regarding the expense report? Thanks for circling back. I'm curious as to what this luxury 5-star hotel venue expense is. You don't remember? That was for the office party where you drank too much and ended up jumping in the pool in your undies. Let's not circle back to that absurd conversation. Let's keep going forward. Our fourth and final term of the day is streamline. In a corporate setting, to streamline something means to simplify a process or a system by eliminating unnecessary steps, redundancies, or administrative clutter to make it run more efficiently. For example, if you've ever combined 3 spreadsheets into a single dashboard, you have streamlined a workflow. Good job. Outside of a business strategy meeting, streamline is a useful verb to describe organizing your habits, simplifying your schedule, or making any task easier to handle. Outside of a business strategy meeting, streamline is a useful verb to describe organizing your habits, simplifying your schedule, or making any task easier to handle. Here are 2 real-world examples. I'm currently trying to streamline my morning routine because I don't want to keep rushing out the door every morning and barely making it to work on time. We need to streamline the checkout process on our website because currently 15 steps is too many steps just to buy a single item. Looking back at the 2 standard examples, in the first example, streamline elevates the idea of just waking up earlier into an intentional design choice, framing your morning as a system that you are optimizing. In the second example, it serves as a clear business recommendation that focuses on removing friction to improve the user's experience. Using this word always sounds progressive and smart because it emphasizes making things cleaner and easier to navigate. But let's see how things go wrong when things are overly streamlined in the last comic skit. I have completely streamlined our feedback loop by replacing long emails with these custom wooden emoji paddles. So, if the client completely rejects our entire design, I just hold up the sad face? Exactly. Look how much communication time we just saved by avoiding a long paragraph. You can call me the Streamline King. What if I need to explain that the main server is physically on fire and we are losing client data? What do I do in that situation? In that case, you wave the sweating smile paddle really fast to streamline the panic. Intuitive, right? Well, I guess nothing says structural emergency quite like a sweating cartoon face. Good job, Streamline King. And there you have it, 4 high utility vocabulary words straight from the subculture of middle managers. Now you know how to use bandwidth to establish your personal limits. You know how to spot a bottleneck in your workflows. You know how to postpone a conversation smoothly with circle back. And you know how to simplify your daily routines by streamlining them. If you want the complete lesson guide with the full transcript, dialogue, and expanded definitions, make sure to check out the Google Docs link in the description below to grab your PDF copy. If you enjoyed picking up advanced English through comedy and culture, please do take a second to hit that like and subscribe button to help the channel grow. I really appreciate it, thank you. And with that, keep practicing your conversational English, watch out for your personal bandwidth limits, and have an awesome week. I'll see you next time on Vocabulary and Subculture, where we'll cover a brand new subculture and its integrated vocabulary. Bye now.